Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Arsenal have been linked with a shock move for Karim Benzema ahead of the January transfer window. Now, Benzema is not happy in Saudi Arabia. According to reports, he wants to leave Al Ittihad this January transfer window. A couple of clubs have been linked with Benzema, including Arsenal, Real Madrid, and Manchester United as well. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let us talk about this. What do you think about Karim Benzema coming into Arsenal as a short-term solution to the goal drought we have? Edin Ketia is staying, according to Mikel Arteta. He's not moving an inch. Gabriel Jesus, of course, is injured at the moment, but will be back. So if Arsenal can add a third striker in Karim Benzema, we know he is a winner. We know he's got that pedigree in the Champions League, and that's the only realistic silverware we are looking at. Could Arsenal actually benefit from such a story? And of course, financially, can we afford the deal? Let me know what you think about Benzema, 36 years of age, in the comment box below. Now, Football.London have actually said that an unexpected Karim Benzema story or transfer to Arsenal this this January can be a perfect Edin Ketia solution for Mikel Arteta. Now, it's a story that is gathering a lot of a lot of attention on the media, a lot of attention on the social media, because Benzema is earning around 172 million pounds, and he is not happy in Saudi Arabia, and he is not happy at Al Ittihad. So it's a story that's growing very quickly, because a couple of other players as well that have just moved to Saudi Arabia are also wanting to come back to Europe. They're also trying to break away from the contracts they've signed to come back to Europe, including one Jordan Henderson, who is in line to sign for Ajax. I mean, there is something going on in Saudi Arabia. I'm not really sure what, but we will definitely find out later on as the stories grow. But Karim Benzema, I mean, he's a quality player. He's a quality striker. He's one of the strikers that Arsene Wenger always wanted at Arsenal. We were linked with him when he was still at Lyon. We were linked with him when he had just joined Real Madrid, and then the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo were taking over the scene, and everyone thought maybe Benzema is going to move on. He's just a backup striker. He's wasting his talent and time. And then after some time, Arsenal failed to sign him. Arsene Wenger left Arsenal, and he became a great Real Madrid player. One of the top goal scorers in Europe, but also one of the top goal scorers at Real Madrid. Now, at 36, the times have changed, and the conditions for Karim Benzema have actually changed. European football, especially the Premier League, is very, very hectic and very aggressive. So for a 36-year-old to come and do the job, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo has come here and he scored a couple of goals for Manchester United. And the next season, we all know what happened. It's going to suck the life out of you. Premier League football is not a joke. But this is the deal that I'm looking at. Arsenal signed Karim Benzema in January for 6 months. That is January to June. At the end of the campaign, he is free to go find another club and move on. You don't sign him on a permanent. You don't give him a one-year deal. It is strictly 6 months. If he does the job well, then he can market. He uses it as a marketing platform to go and get a good club, maybe in the Major League Soccer in America. Or in the Chinese Super League, or go back to Saudi Arabia, depending on what depending on the conditions that will be happening in June. So I think it might be a sensible deal. However, it's a very, very risky one. One, at 36, does he have the legs, right? We know he's clinical. We know strikers are getting this piece of longevity, syrup that we don't know where it's coming from, but strikers are becoming more and more long-serving. You look at Lewandowski, you look at Cristiano, you look at Messi, you look at Benzema himself, you look at Zlatan as well. The older they get, the better. They're becoming like goalkeepers, and maybe that is what Arsenal might need at the moment. We might need a bit of experience in the penalty area. I mean, we all talk about this Arsenal team being very young, and we use it as an excuse for not scoring goals, missing chances, not creating good chances, not winning games. The team is still young, and therefore give them some time. But what if what we really need is some bit of experience? What if what Arsenal need is a player that has lived through these experiences, has gone through several goal droughts, has gone through several periods where a team is very good but cannot finish, and then he comes and implements everything he's learned across his career at Arsenal. It might be something very, very genius if we actually, get the deal done. Now, age for me is a restricting factor for Karim Benzema. I'm not even going to lie. A 36-year-old striker is a big, big risk. There is no guarantee he's going to come and score the goals, and there is also no guarantee that when he comes in, he's going to be, he's going to participate in the rest of the activities like Gabriel Jesus or even Edin Ketia. He doesn't have those legs. Financially, it's a deal that Arsenal have to really, really think about before we even try to get ourselves mingling in it. He's earning 172 million per year. Do not even try to dare think about converting that into weekly terms, monthly terms, or even per day. Simply, Arsenal cannot afford the wages of Karim Benzema. And I'm thinking Al Ittihad and the Saudi Arabians are not too professional, and they don't care about these players' feelings to say, well, we can loan you to Arsenal, we will pay half of your wages, or we'll continue paying your wages. You can go to Arsenal and play there since you're not happy right here at Al Ittihad. I don't think that is an option. I don't think they're actually going to do that, right? So that's not an option. And then that means straight out, even if Arsenal don't have to pay a loan fee, we can't afford him. It's as simple as that. We can't afford his wages. He's too expensive. We are talking about a player who's earning more than $1 million a week. More than £1 million a week. He's absolutely very, very expensive. And that's why when I looked at that story from Football.London, I was like, you are crazy. You are absolutely crazy. First and foremost, I don't think he is a Mikel Arteta striker. I don't think he fits what Mikel Arteta is looking at. I mean, just look around. Look at the other strikers Mikel is crazy about. Dusan Vlahovic, he's a fighter. He works hard. He runs a lot. Victor Boniface, he's a fighter. He works hard. He runs a lot as well. Osimhen the same. Ivan Toney the same as well. So when you put Benzema into the picture and you compare him to Gabriel Jesus, I don't think he's the striker we are looking for. I don't think that's the number 9 Mikel Arteta is looking for. I don't think he's sleeping there and he's gone, I want a predator in the penalty area, but also I want a parasite that is going to suck the life out of my team without working, right? He would stand up top, he would wait for the ball, he would finish, right? The good chances that we are creating, he would finish, but he's not hard working. And I don't think Mikel Arteta is entertaining of players that are not hardworking unless you're Kai Havertz. If you're not Kai Havertz, you're definitely not going to sign for Arsenal, especially up top. So in terms of affordability, in terms of the economics, Arsenal cannot, we simply cannot do this deal. It's crazy, like really, really crazy. Now, there are stories that the player is not happy and therefore he's going to be leaving Saudi Arabia. He's not happy in Saudi Arabia. And maybe we might be looking at a cancellation, a mutual termination of the contract. And that is where Arsenal have to maybe keep their eyes open and very, very close to the situation. If he terminates his deal with Al Ittihad, that means that he will be a free agent. That means that you can actually sign him without worrying about, this 172 million he's getting. You don't have to worry about, a sign-on fee, or you don't have to worry about a loan fee. All you have to do is to convince Karim Benzema, give him a decent sign-on fee. You always have got to pay that, and then give him a deal. 6 months, you come, you do a good job, and then you actually move on. But the problem is this: if Arsenal can afford him on a loan deal while he's a free agent, there are so many other clubs that will be willing to pay much more than we are actually going to pay. So Madrid, who are actually former employers, actually like him. Manchester United, I'm not really sure if he would go to Man United. Depends on the wages. I think United have the ability to pay more wages than Arsenal at the moment. Why? I'm not really sure. They are really tossing around with FFP. So again, if he terminates his deal, that is the only way Arsenal sign him, right? You can pay him maybe 100,000 or 200,000 per week until the end of the campaign, and then he actually moves on. I know Arsenal can do that, and that is the only way, right? But it's a crazy deal. It's a very, very crazy deal. I mean, it's unfathomable, right? If it was the time when he was coming from Real Madrid, and maybe he wants to play in the Premier League, and he says, I will go to Man United or I'll go to Arsenal, then it makes a lot of sense. But he's gone to Saudi Arabia. He's been away, and then he comes back to the Premier League. Would that be the best move for him as a player? I'm not really, I don't think so, and I don't think he's going to make that decision. But why I would love Karim Benzema at Arsenal, and why I think he would be such a great addition: pedigree, experience, pedigree. Listen, he's one of the players that would, spark our journey in the Champions League. Like, Manchester United have Rasmus Højlund, right? And he's scored a lot of goals. But Karim Benzema is a Champions League striker. Like, he's a Champions League prince. He's one of those players that have written their names on the walls of fame of the Champions League. If we ever have a Champions League Hall of Fame, the walls will have the name Karim Benzema, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Lionel Messi, right? Like, there's no question about that. So as Arsenal now look to progress in the Champions League, we don't have so many options this season. The Premier League seems... we are still in reach with it. If Liverpool can drop some 5 points and Arsenal can capitalize, and Man City can drop some 3 points and Arsenal can capitalize, then we are back in the title race. But I don't think Karim Benzema wins you the Premier League. I don't think he's got the engine to go week, every single week. To produce for you that quality that you are actually asking for 18 games or 19 games or even 20. But for the Champions League, it's a knockout competition, right? It needs pedigree, it needs experience, it needs players that have actually done it. Now, the advantage of him is you would couple him with Jorginho, you would couple him with a few players that have that experience in the Arsenal team, Thomas Partey, that caliber, and we would go onto the round of 16 and also in the quarterfinals stronger, knowing that we have players that have lived the experience, but also knowing that we have players that are real quality. I mean, it's surprising how the older you are, the more quality you are in the Champions League. But that is how it works, right? If you play a Real Madrid team right now, it is less scary than the Cristiano Ronaldo's, the Marias, and that age range, which was a little bit older, right? So that's it. So with Karim Benzema, we have a young squad, we have young strikers, we have players firing, left, right, and center. He might be an inspiration. He might be a source of guidance to the players at the club. Hey, this is how you finish. Hey, when you get to the Champions League quarterfinals, you need to do this. When you get a chance on the knockout rounds of the Champions League, you've got to bury it. We've seen him, score a couple of goals for Real Madrid. We have seen him single-handedly take out teams from the Champions League. Chelsea, I'm sorry, I'm talking about you. He single-handedly dumped them out of a Champions League, right? Manchester City as well, their first problems with Karim Benzema. So if Mikel Arteta is to focus on the Champions League and focus on that premium competition, no one will ever blame him for dropping the Carabao Cup for the Champions League. Bigger fish to fry, right? So if we are focusing on the Champions League, because we have to, then signing Karim Benzema makes a lot of sense in the world. It makes the best sense in the world. Good striker, pedigree's there. He doesn't have a lot of legs, but he just needs 90 minutes times 2 for every single game. For the round of 16, quarterfinals, and the semi-finals. Those are three. Those are 3 rounds. Those are 6 games, and then we are to the final. And if we can win the final, Benzema wins the Champions League again. But this time with Arsenal. So let me know what you think about Karim Benzema. Arsene Wenger would be very happy. He would have done it for Arsene Wenger, even if he's no longer manager. Like him, just hearing, he's there on his French radio. I know zero French, but he's there on his French radio, and he's tuned in. And the story goes, Karim Benzema signs for Arsenal on a loan deal for 6 months. Arsene Wenger would absolutely go crazy, because that was his goal. He always wanted Karim Benzema. He always wanted that boy to play for Arsenal, and it just didn't happen. So if we can make it happen under Mikel Arteta, you never know. He might get even bigger blessings from, Arsene Wenger. But personally, Don't have a problem with him. I've always, adored him. I've always, admired him. And I like his composure in the penalty area. There was a season, I think that was last season, was it? Or last season but one. When Real Madrid literally were, I think that was the 2021-22 campaign. Real Madrid were comeback kings. So literally what they used to do was come back in games. As simple as that. That is what they used to do. You could lead them a goal to nil until the 90th minute, and they'll score one in the 91st and the second one in the 94th, and they would win the game. And Karim Benzema was a very key player in amidst all that, because he's very composed and very calm, and his spacing in the penalty area, it's demonic. Absolutely demonic. So if we can pull that off, I'm not saying Arsenal are in negotiations. I'm saying there is a story linking us to him, and yeah, but of course the hindrances are Mikel Arteta really wants Edin Nketiah to stay. He prefers Edin Nketiah to any other striker as backup at Arsenal. So we might see Gabriel Jesus leave, and then we sign a striker, but Edin Nketiah stays at Arsenal. That would be kind of crazy, but I won't be surprised if Mikel Arteta goes down that road. So let me know what do you think about Karim Benzema to Arsenal, and we will be talking about this live on the Cossy's Arsenal podcast. So make sure you check out that video as well.